Hey, what's up? Welcome. It's the first time, I guess, for AnTILT? AnTILT? Beatbox to World 2020 wildcard. I think this time we're just gonna roll straight into it. If that's cool with you. Probably better for you. Because you're like, I don't need to hear 6 minutes of people talking. You're probably right. You're probably right. I'm sure 6 minutes will be at the end of the video or on the next video, but for now we'll take a small pause.
Yo, I'm AnTILT from Pakistan, and this is my Beatbox to World 2020 wildcard. And
oh, shout out to Pakistan. What's up? Sorry, Pakistan. What's up, dude? Gotta love people making music everywhere, man.
Also my video submission for the My Real Beat Showcase competition by Beat Nation and Realme Malaysia.
I already like him taking the... Wait, is he doing an inhale or exhale? Probably an inhale. I can tell also that he's super crazy focused, which I respect. Since it's short, we can back it up. I like that he had the long notes and then threw a triple in there. Ba-dum, 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 I think I only did it once. I like that. A little switch up from the longs, even notes, the triplets. Let's back up. Let's enjoy it. Oh, that was it. Actually, hold on. That was good timing. I she did 2 sets of triplets. All right. Oh. Okay, 1000% love it, and you might not feel the way I feel about it. This reminds me of the percussion in the background of Gigawatt by Jay-Z or Patience by Nas and Damian Marley, where there's a lot of space in the beat, but it's driving and has a lot of triplets in it too. Well, a triplet kind of foundation on top of non-triplets. Which I would say, check them both out. Gigawatt, if you haven't heard it, which was a huge hit, but Patience by Nas and Damian Marley, you maybe have not heard, because it's more, not as big, but love the track. Love it.
if I saw
even that, using that triplet grouping.
I will lose my sight. If I saw your darkness, I will sink.
Sorry, I didn't know I was going to talk this much because I didn't know what he was going to sound like. One thing, I'm going to keep going back to this triplet grouping, because when you put triplets up against quarters and half notes, right, it immediately increases the energy. But what he's doing is he's keeping it low key. Right? But then he throws a triplet grouping in there, and all of a sudden it pushes it, but he doesn't go off with it. He comes right back. Right? Instead of pushing forward as a temporary element of pushing, but then falls right back into a more of a laid back groove.
In sadness. I will sink in sadness.
Damn. I'll tell you right now, if someone went into like Ableton or Logic or whatever, and you took his groove and just put it at the exact parts he has it, but put the, like, you know, the instruments you'd expect to hear, it would be an amazing backing track. Man. Now, if you watch him, right, he himself has never lost the essential groove. You can tell how he feels the track by how he's moving. And he put some things in there where even when he's keeping the notes long, he would change how often he changed the pitch. So really just two key elements here is he would have long notes and then triplets, or he would take long notes but then change the pitches more frequently and then do triplets. But then we have, of course, the instrumentation of the sounds he's choosing to use. But he's taken that structure, long notes, triplets, or long notes changing more often, not changing more often in time, but changing more often across a measure. Does that make sense? In other words, like you could have 4 quarter notes in a measure, like a one note, bum, 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 bum. So our time is 4 quarters, but you could change the pitches on the quarters. The rate of notes is the same. Bum, 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 bum. Right? But now the pitch variation has created a level of development. I am dramatically surprised by how good it turned out to be, especially given the fact that this is request out the Patreon, and the views were like 15,000, which is crazy. So I was kind of doubting it, you know, given that no one else has really brought it up and the views were low. I think this is just, well, there's 2 possibilities, right? Either I like things people don't like, or it's just a dude who fell through the cracks where no one really recommended him or popped off. But I think, and maybe he approaches the composition more like how I like it instead of how other people expect beatboxing to be. So one thing as a guitarist, and this is important, I do think. I mean, it can apply to bass players or keys players or whatever, but I'm speaking as, you know, a guitar player. When you play in bands, okay, now typically, right, you have some extreme guitar players. You have guitar players who like never solo at all, they just play chords. And then you have a lot of guys who are always playing notes all over the track. And so you have a problem with each one. With the guys who just play chords, you're like, hey man, why don't you spice it up a little bit? And with the dude who's always playing notes everywhere, you're like, dude, time and a place. And I think blues is a good example of this. But it can be funk or whatever, but it's really classic in blues where you have a line where the vocalist sings a line, but there's a little space at the end of the measure. And then the blues player, back up. Then the blues player will throw in a small line, a tiny, like half a measure, or even like a beat and a half fill. Then the singer goes again. It's almost like a call and response between these 2 people. And he's treating his composition that way, where he basically goes, here's the structure, but at the end of a measure, right? I'll take half of a measure and I'll do something fancy and I'll go right back to the groove. And I think it does a really good job of letting us hear, back up, Chew Cat. Letting him hear how he understands the song and what he wants it to be like, but also it's never too boring because he adds the fills, but it's never too crowded because the fills are short. You can always put the fills in more often if you want. Like if you feel it's too boring, instead of putting, you know, the fills in every 4 phrases, you can put them in every 2 phrases or every 1 phrase. In your, let's say your phrase length here is 4 measures. So you have like 3 measures to 3.5 measures of structure and then a half measure of a fill. Right? And you can mimic that. You can just extrapolate that out. If you do 2 phrases, 8 measures, or 4 phrases, 16 measures, or however you want to go by it. But the most common grouping in 4/4 time is 4 measures. 4 to 8 measures is really common. And usually, even if the 8 measures are not, even if the 8 measures are not 2 sets of 4 that are identical, they're 2 complementary measures, and then that entire set of 8 is repeated again. So you might have a 8 measure structure that's repeated for 32 bars or whatever. But you'll see this everywhere, man. Rap, disco, funk, singing. There's a structure to how you how you actually put the dominant lines on a track. Not dominance in a function, dominant as in taking your attention span. And there has to be a trade-off between counter melodies and supporting structures, such as when he does like some trumpet stuff, right? Or some like little snare fill, versus something that's a little more active. And you're kind of just, it's like you're spinning plates, which I never spin plates, but you know, yeah, that's a long, I mean, I think I explained what I enjoyed about it. But again, going back to the original, check out, when I say check it out, I want you to, so for Gigawatt, just check out just listen to the back synth and the drums. And same thing for Patience by Nas and I think Damian Marley. Right? Listen to what is going on in the background. If you don't listen to the vocals, right? When you listen to the vocals on top of it and you pay attention to it as a whole, it's like it kind of moves pretty quickly, in my opinion. But if you just listen to like the keyboard, bass, and percussion, you realize, whoa, it's actually so slow. It's like so slow with these small elements of quickness. Yeah, so that's the takeaway. The takeaway is don't hit like, don't hit subscribe. Right now, go look up Patience by Nas and Damian Marley. Do that shit. Anyways, I'm out of here because the cat's mad. I gotta handle the cat.